So were we more advanced in our past than we're, because there are certain
10
things.
times more advanced. 10 times more advanced.
Space God was telling us that too.
Now, people built the pyramids. See, this is one other thing people try to skew my words around. So he's saying aliens only one. No, aliens didn't build pyramids. If I own a construction company and I say, okay, I'm gonna build a city called Atlanta. I'm not going to, as the owner of the construction company, I'm not about to get my fingers dirty. My hands ain't gonna get dirty. I got a master architect, an engineer, and I have a person that's going to run the people out there that's going to do the actual labor, right? I have a foreman.
A foreman, yeah.
So you have a master architect. Now, the master architectural floor plan came from these beings, people who look like us, by the way.
So they gave us the game.
They gave us the
These
game.
beings that look like us.
Yes.
And made in the image, made in my own image.
Exactly. These are the people. In the Epic of Atrahasis, those exact words are stated, what you just said, which predate the Bible by thousands of years.
Oh, wow.
And so these people, they gave the blueprint, they taught the techniques, they brought the tools and instructions, and people built the pyramids. And how we know that slaves didn't build the pyramids? Well, that's an old farce, because if you're running slaves, the last thing you do is teach slaves sophisticated calculus, geometry, mathematics, astrophysics, astronomy. You don't even want, if they read,
you don't know how to read.
They're like, well, what do I need y'all for? Well, if I have all this knowledge, how can you enslave me?
Yeah, Frederick Douglass said, education, being educated makes it impossible to be a slave.
Exactly. And so that's the fact. And so the pyramids were built by people, and we know that because we got the records for injuries. They had insurance. They had insurance thousands of years ago.
They've been running insurance.
They've been running. They can tell you if a guy had a fracture, one tablet, they had a fractured, a papyrus, a fractured elbow, a broken leg, how they were treated and everything else. Payroll. We got the payroll records, by the way. So they had payroll records on the people working on the pyramids. They were getting paid money. You don't pay slaves. No. So the whole slave building pyramids is a farce. There's no way you can take mud ramps because you would need more mass in mud than the pyramid itself to build a ramp.
I got you.
Impossible. And all the tree log, that's all. Listen, each stone at the pyramid, when you go to the pyramids, each stone is a fingerprint. In other words, each stone is individually cut for the exact precise location.
That I've heard before.
I got you.
There are no Legos. Nobody went and cut these blocks by shape and size and said, okay, now stack these up. Every stone is a piece of an interlocking puzzle, right? And they interlock together like this so they don't move.
Like when you take a Rubik's Cube apart.
Exactly.
Let me ask you,
incredible.
They said that when Islam invaded or Muslim invaders came in, that the pyramids were once white and just in a smooth, shiny stone, and they were taken down to make mosques.
144 casing stones on the Great Pyramid alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what must they have looked like?
Oh, they looked like they were gleaming. So the Great Pyramid had 144,000 casing stones, right? And that was the insulation because it's holding energy on the inside.
Gotcha.
It was also a beacon, no matter where you're coming from distance. And according to these ancient texts, they had sky ships. Great beacon point to locate, okay, that's where we're headed, right? The top, where you had the apex, was this golden cap.
That's what I heard.
Okay. So all this was it was probably one of the most beautiful sites. A couple of the pyramids, one of them was black. So one was solid black, the other one was white, and the other one was a mixture. And these were actual machines, and they did strip off. They started taking off that material and utilizing it for construction and all kind of things. But the pyramids essentially energy conductors. They're buildings. What is the Sphinx? Okay,
and what significance is the face of a black woman on essentially a tigress?
Right. It used to be. It's actually, believe it or not, it's not actually a woman. It's actually a boy.
It's a boy. Okay.
That gives it the illusion of being feminine, but it's really a boy.
I get you. Y'all look the same about 11 too. I got
right.
you. Okay.
And it was never a lion's head. By the way, this is a myth. It was never a lion's head.
I never thought it was a lion's head. It's the body, though, right?
Yeah. A lot of people kept saying it in mainstream, like on the History Channel. It was the head of a lion. It was never the head of a lion.
If you grew up in Atlanta with black teachers, I ain't gonna let you believe that shit.
Yeah. Now, it was a different size head on there before.
Okay.
The head on there now is a recarved face. The original head was Tahuti.
Oh, King Tut.
No, not King Tut. Thoth, the Emerald Tablet Thoth, the guy who said he built the Great Pyramid. He also built the Sphinx.
Oh, wow.
His father told him to build the Sphinx and point it towards Leo, and because that was his time to rule.
Yeah.
So he built the Sphinx. Now, underneath the Sphinx, he said something in the Emerald Tablets. That's why I wrote the book Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. He says, beneath the Sphinx, I hide my ship. And far in the future, an enemy will come from the deep. And the one who can release my ship will defeat them with ease.
What is from the deep? Is that theoretical?
He's talking about a space battle.
Oh, wow.
And he's talking about the fact that he got this ship underneath the Sphinx. Now, to add credence to this, I was doing a post-conference lecture in 2018 in California at the Conscious Life Expo. And at this post-conference lecture, I was talking about this documentary coming on Discovery Channel. And they were going to air live what they discovered a mile underneath the Sphinx's paw. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as it went to air, it said this show was canceled.
Oh, wow.
And when I brought it up, the guy who was the producer for that episode was in my front row in my audience, gave me his card and all his credentials. And he said they gave me a gag order. But he said, all I can tell you was there was a massive technological object down there and they forbid us to talk about it and to release it to the public. So we had to shut the show down.
So why Discovery's withheld and why are we giving information so slowly? Is it to keep us uneducated or ignorant? Or
well, if we knew the truth about the ancient past, a couple things would happen.
Okay.
Well, yeah, of course, fear. They keep the fear in you.
But what would happen?
But the biggest thing is we won't go back through the cycle you were talking about.
Yeah.
Because why is it that we all could walk past an electric outlet right now, but we won't stick our finger in it? Because we know we're going to get shocked. But how do we know we're going to get shocked? Because when we were kids, we went to go do it. Somebody said no.
Yes.
Damn sure did.
Absolutely.
Right? And we knew it was danger. Right?
How did I know you done that?
No one stopped him, though.
I stuck a bottom pin.
Lord.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck me
I
up.
know.
And you'll never do it again, right?
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
So he learned from his past. He was able to take an inference from his past and understand, okay, this is not to be done.
Yeah.
And so now he'll walk past a million outlets and never stick his finger in it. Why? Because we learned from our past. But if they can erase our past, if they can alter the past, if they can skew it and twist it and bend it, they give us an altered perception of reality about what the past really was, and we can never fully learn from our past mistakes, and we keep going through the cycle, which is what they need. They need us to keep forgetting. A man is only living to about 70 to 80 years old. By the time we get smart enough to figure out what the hell's going on, we die. And the next generation comes in just as dumb and ignorant as we came in before.
I will have two questions, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to let you keep going.
You've been so... Oh,
well, yeah, you raised your hand. I thought I was going to say some shit.
Let me ask you something I hadn't heard before, but I thought I hadn't heard the word fractional holographic universe.
Yeah.
And that's essentially the theory of like the Matrix. Like none of this is real. None of this. This is just like an agreed upon reality,
illusion.
Right?
It's all an illusion
So
based
we
on our
fake right
consciousness. It's not that we're fake. Our energy is real. Yeah. Our energy and consciousness is real, but the realm itself is artificial.
So this is a simulation.
It's all a simulation. Okay, now what it means is it doesn't take away anything from anybody's religious beliefs, because all religious beliefs and all indigenous tribes around the world agree with one thing: we're living inside of a creation.
Yeah.
What fractal holographic universe and the understanding of the matrix and the observer effect does, it explains the method used to create this reality. So, okay, we're living in a creation. Well, how was it made? What is it made of? We're living in a matrix made of light. When scientists and quantum physicists zoomed into reality as far as down as they can go, what they discovered was pixelation. The same pixelation you get on your computer screen on your TV if the image starts getting broken up, like low bandwidth or whatever, right? And they were like, holy crap, what is this doing here? Then they saw the largest image in the smallest piece. So they recognized that the universe was fractalized, that we're living in, you can only see that same resemblance in a hologram. Mm-hmm. And so a fractal is a pattern that repeats itself as smaller and smaller patterns. And so they said, okay, let's analyze the nature of matter itself. And they began to realize that all matter is what we're saying. This is a solid microphone. This is a solid cup. What they noticed was, no, it's not. It's just light waves slowed down to a particular frequency. And they said, holy crap. So they did this experiment called the double slit experiment. And they took this microscopic box and they put a partition directly in the middle of the box with a slit in it. On behind the slit, they put a tiny little gun that can shoot one electron at a time towards that slit, going to the middle partition, which should have went through to the back of the box. When they looked in the back wall of the box, they saw a wave pattern. Waves of light hit the wall, not a single individual electron. They said, how in the world can an electron turn into a wave of potentials when it should have been just single digital information? So they did it again, but they put a looking device inside this time. When they put the looking device inside the little box to see what was going on, the electrons decided to stay solid and not become waves. They took it out, they became waves. They put the camera back in, they became solid. They said, wait a minute. The act of observation, conscious intervention with matter changes it. So it means that collectively we are all creating this reality. How does the brain work? Let's look at the fractal. On the macro, the universe is a mind. On the micro, the universe is our mind inside of our heads. Now let's look at ourselves and we'll understand what the universe is doing. And our brain is encased in darkness, right, in this skull. But it has friends: hearing, sight, taste, feel, touch, and all this, right? Smell, hearing, it's all the sensory perception. It says to its friends, go out there and collect me some data. So the friends go out, they smell, they taste, they touch, they hear, they see. And then the friends don't really understand fully what they're collecting, but they transmit that data back to the brain through the neurological system. The brain sorts it all out and projects a hologram as to what it believes is going on outside. And we navigate this matrix based on a holographic projection from collected data.
So this is like when they say your eyes are not seeing as much as light is coming in. And don't you like see in reverse or something until
it flips it upside down?
Yeah, exactly. So you're not actually seeing this as much as you're processing. Yeah. What you're saying, and the brain doesn't feel pain, correct? It interprets the pain.
It interprets it. Yeah, right. We're processing all this data. We're processing all. So now let's look at the macro. The universe is a mind, a conscious mind.
Gotcha.
The universe is alive because it has enough neurological connections. If you zoom out from galaxies, you begin to realize the galaxies look like neurons inside of a human brain, and so. The universe says, I'd like to experience life in the third dimension. So the universe says, I'm going to get data from my friends. Who are the friends? You, me, you, right? We're living our lives as individuals collecting this data. Not only just us, but every single atom that exists throughout the entire known universe, every bit of dark matter that exists throughout the known universe, and it's all transmitting back to source. Every atom in this microphone is alive. Why? Because every electron orbiting the atoms makes conscious decisions to be solid or be a wave based on our observation. So this is omnipotence and omniscience. This is how, excuse me, this is how God actually is able to be everywhere at all times, because God inhabits every individual atom, which is transmitting back to source. And so what God is doing is living subjectively through each and every individual and each and every individual atom. Universally.
So God is in us, not just around us. God is
exactly.
You're amazing.